Hey, it's Cameron with the Atlas Strength Shop, and today we are going to talk about another specialty bar that we have here at the Atlas Strength Shop. We've been using it for a while, and that is going to be the Bow Bar from Strength Shop USA. Before we get into that, what I want you to do is like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out a lot. So a few years ago, Chris Duffin at Kabuki Strength came out with the Duffalo Bar, which everybody probably already knows about the Duffalo Bar. In fact, if you find this bar, it's probably because you wanted a Duffalo Bar. And because his bar was like $600, I think it was even more at the time, it created almost an arms race in the barbell community of people trying to make bars that were like it, but not at a $600 price point. This bar is one of the bars that came out as a result of that. So Westside Barbell, they've had a version of this bar for years, and you could get it through Westside Barbell, but it wasn't until Chris Duffin came out with his, started using it. It was everywhere. He did this promo where he squatted like 800 pounds every day for a month during Squattober, and that's kind of what put that bar on the map. I wanted one because they said that it was going to be easier on the shoulders when you're doing things like low bar, and because of the shape, when you did bench, you could get a little bit deeper into it and hit more of that chest. I didn't have that kind of money though, so I did a lot of research, and this was the bar that I eventually found. Titan Fitness had a version at the time that was a lot cheaper than this, but I didn't trust Titan Fitness on barbells at the time. Since then, they've gotten a lot better. They've started making some of their barbells in America. In fact, they have a Yukon bar that is a little bit less expensive than this one, looks great, but the bow on it isn't quite as pronounced, and I really like this pronounced bow. It's also a lot thinner. So now let's get into some of the comparisons. This bar has 35 millimeter diameter as far as what the shaft goes. It's also fully knurled along the entire shaft, which is not something you see in all the other different barbells. I like that because this thing is glued to your back. Their squat bar is the same way, and I'm gonna review that one here later on. Another thing I like about this is the finish on it. You can see it's got a little bit of wear and tear to it, but it has held up to our Louisiana climate. We have always been in non-climate controlled facilities ever since we opened our first location. And something like raw steel, which a lot of these bars are made out of, it gets torn up. But now let's talk about these specs compared to the other guys' specs. We're gonna talk about Titans, we're gonna talk about Chris Duffin's, the Duffalo bar, and we're gonna talk about the new bar that Rogue came out with, which is just a bunch of random numbers. I don't remember, but you recently saw it at the Arnold Strongman Classic. They did a monolift, they did a squat out of a monolift with one. So this one, like I said, it's got a 35 millimeter diameter. It's a 55-pound bar. I paid $300 for this bar. You really can't beat that for a 55-pound tank of a bar that this is. The Titan Fitness version, it's 28 millimeters, which is the same diameter as an Oli bar, but you already have that bend in it, which means it's not going to be as strong as a bar that's going to be straight. So the fact that this is thicker means it's going to be a lot sturdier. The Rogue is thicker than this one. I will say that. I wasn't expecting that when I looked it up, but according to Rogue's website, the diameter of that barbell is 38 millimeters. That's almost 4 centimeters or 2 inches thick. I was not expecting that when I looked it up. It's also 60 pounds. So Rogue's is a tank, but Rogue's is also over $200 more expensive than this bar. The Duffalo bar from Kabuki Strength is 31.75 millimeters thick. So it's a little bit thinner than this, not quite as thin as Titan's, but theirs is like $600. It's ridiculous. Kabuki Strength is really proud of their stuff. So hopefully I'm gonna save you some time because I did a lot of research before I bought this bar several years ago. And this is the one that I found to be that best balance between quality and price, because there's no reason to pay $600 for a barbell like this, because we have a lot of members here. I see this thing get used maybe twice a month. You're not going to use it every day in your training if you buy this for your garage gym. If you have a commercial gym or a private gym like we do, this thing's not going to get used every day in that environment either. So there's no sense in spending the money on a Duffalo bar, in my opinion, when this thing is an absolute tank. So I will say this, it wasn't as comfortable on my back as I was expecting, but that is because I have really long forearms. We have other members that have used it, and we have some members, this is the only bar they ever squat on. We mostly see it get used these days for bench though, just because we have so many options as far as our squat bars go. We've got this bar, we've got a traditional squat bar, we have a transformer bar, we have an Elite FTS SS yoke bar, we have a cambered bar from Titan Fitness. So there's just so many options that this isn't the one people tend to gravitate to. But that being said, I'm really glad that I purchased this. It was only $300, it was money well spent, and I would definitely purchase it again. So that's really it for the video. If you like this video, then please like it and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out a lot. If you're in the Baton Rouge area and you'd like to come try this bar out, shoot me a message on Instagram. We'll set something up. You can come by and see it. If you're not in the Baton Rouge area and you still want to support us, best way to do that is head to our website. We have a lot of apparel options like this hoodie that I'm wearing right now, as well as some programming options that are available too. We also have some competitions coming up, so check those out on Iron Podium and Lifting Cast, depending on if you are a strongman or a powerlifter. Until next time, keep that Titan.